Hello. Oh, I'm super nervous. Okay, let's see. All right. Stop that. Hey. Hey. Oh man, I'm so nervous. Uh, I've been saying this all over the place. I am going to be trying to do a live writing. I'm not going to promise that we'll finish the entire chapter today, but I'm going to do my very best. For those of you that don't know me, or this is your first time joining me, my name is Rebecca. I'm the writer for My Dyslexic World and Pocket Change Stories. My Dyslexic World is my blog where I share a bunch of my stuff, share my day-to-day life, any exciting projects I'm working on, or any sort of updates or delays on projects. And then Pocket Change Stories is my Patreon where I share just about all of my writing. Which reminds me, I need to do this because I didn't do it last time, and that was my bad. You can't see this. I'm sharing my Twitch page to my Patreon channel. Actually, I could show you. It's not that hard. Voila. It's my Patreon channel. It's cold. And just gonna silence that. So how's everybody doing? How's your day going while I go and do this? Because I completely forgot about it. I shared it on my... You know what? Screw it. So, I haven't picked an idea on what I was going to do. Patreon page. Make a post. You're seeing the behind the scenes. Don't look. Don't look. No, wait. Wrong one. And go. Okay, let's talk. Let's have a conversation first. So I hadn't actually decided what I was going to do for my... Wrong screen. For my writing, my live writing. I got a couple of prompts from friends a little bit ago. When I say a little bit ago, I mean almost 2 years ago. Let's see. I know one of them was like the day in the life of a supervillain's henchman, or a pillow fight at a slumber party. My little sister had said elephants drinking tea. What would be a good one to do? What would you think is a good one to do? Elephants drinking tea? Yeah, sure, why the hell not? I'll do that one. You're the only person here. Let's have some fun. Okay. So, when I normally start writing, I go through a process. Every writer has sort of a process, or at least I believe every writer has sort of a process. For me, that process starts with putting on either my hoodie or an overshirt. I think I'm going to go with an overshirt today. because I like what I'm wearing. It says be awesome or be amazing. And this is just because I don't like when my arms get super cold. Okay, and it kind of helps with the mindset. It kind of helps with me get into my mindset. This is kind of like my work attire, my day-to-day work attire anyways. If you follow me on any of my social medias platforms, when I post pictures, I'm almost always wearing either something plaid, because I absolutely love plaid, or I'm wearing my gray hoodie. I'm that ridiculous. Or brown. It's not gray. Brown. Then I don't really like having to constantly flip my hair, so I put it up. This is also another part of that whole... It's also another part of, like, how I get things going. Let the trolling begin. Go for it if you want. I'll just ignore you most of the time. And bring it. Oh, well. So... Okay, so let me switch to this again. Bring up my screen. Actually has nothing to do with what we're writing. I think I'm trying. I don't know. But don't stress me out too hard, or it's gonna get real bad. So we agreed. Elephants drinking tea. Man. I know why you gave me this one. Hello. Hi. I'm gonna be writing a short story. We're gonna do maybe 3 pages. I'm not gonna promise that I'm gonna get the full story done, but we're gonna try. Elephant drinking tea. I know why I was given this prompt. It was because a few years ago I was writing nothing but dark stuff. It never had a happy ending, and my little sister was like, "We need to make something funny, something happy." I don't do comedy very well, and even when I try to, it's super, super crappy. It's incredibly dry. So, let's see. Elephants drinking tea. We'll set it for 3 pages, 3 to 5 pages. But we need to name those characters. Do you guys have any good names? Would you like to give me some names to use? Take your time, peeps. I've got all day. Because if you don't, we're going to have to go to my trump card. L4D? I don't even know what that is. Oh, I remember what it is. This is my trump card when I can't figure out what to name a character. So, how many characters do we want to have? What's the overall story? What are we doing here? So the premise is 2 elephants drinking tea, but is it like a war setting and they're taking a tea break? Is like the female trying to get Babby McToddler? I'm totally down. That's one name. Let me do something here. Let me do something. Oh, it's over here. Let me do something here. Babby McToddler. Let me do something. Do. Where is Notepad? Wait, was it there? No, don't you fucking dare open that up. I'll just type it in. this back over. I'll give you Babby McToddler. Somebody else needs to pick a different name. I'm shaking, by the way. I'm ridiculously shaking. There, those are our two names. And they are elephant. They're an elephant. Elephant. What's their motivation? Again, why are these two elephants getting together to have tea? Why? Plotting 9/11? No, I'm not gonna do that one. Is that a question? Yes. Case of mistaken identity? Case of mistaken identity. Oh yeah, plot. Sorry. You're right though. Plot and motivation is different. Yep, I spelled it just like that. That's not how identity is spelled. Can you guys see it? Whatever. Motivation. What is bad baby? Is it Babby or baby? Baby McToddler? What is baby McToddler's motivation? Tell me. Tell me, what is the motivation? With the plot of mistaken identity. I'm enjoying this. No, please. Keep going, people. Oh no. Don't crash. His butt itches. That's lame. That's boring. Give me a better motivation than that. Come on. If you want to be a troll about it, fine. But come on. Dip into your trolly powers. Do almost anything to be admired. Good. I didn't promise this was going to be error free. That's not happening. That's how that's spelled. I'm also writing, I'm also not writing in the typical thing that I do, in the typical programs that I use. I hardly ever use Notepad, so. Mm, hmm. Ugh, this is so weird. This setup, so weird. Fine, we're just gonna go with whatever. So, how do you even say that? Rick Caden? Rick Caden seeks admiration from Babby McToddler. Hmm. Ah. There you go. Now you can't see anything else, but there you go. Now comes the hard part. Starting this damn thing. Mm. Writing's hard. Should have gone with my original idea, which was to just write a chapter of R9. Then it wouldn't have been as fun. I wouldn't have gotten to be trolled by Solvrix. Honestly, I can't remember who you are at all. Gives me nothing. It was a hot day, right? Are you talking about the setting? I didn't even think about the setting. I just went for it. Why not? It was a hot day. I know it's not Gilbo. Or it could be. No, it's not Fry. Both of the I know both of their usernames. I learned this trick recently. So the moment he'd been waiting for, he double-checked the address at least 1,000 times before he made the trip. The sun beat down on him from overhead. I think that's the right word. I think that's the right word. Nope. Fine. Do it the hard way. Yep, that's it. I do this where where when I'm introducing a character, I don't give their names off within the text itself. I do it within dialogue. Some people don't really like that. They rather have the character introduced to them beforehand. But it's been a habit of mine for a long time. I'd read an article when I was first getting or learning how to write about how to do character introductions. And one article that I'd read just kind of set firmly where it said, don't introduce the character, let another character introduce them for you. And so that's pretty much what I do. Anytime that anytime that I'm about to introduce a character. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you understand when I say I'm introducing a character? I don't think you understand when I'm saying what I say. Oh, jeez. Here we go. This is taking a weird turn. This is weird. This is bothering me. That's bothering me. Can you still hear me okay? Apparently they're in the desert. Why are they all sounding like like 1930 gangsters? I don't know what you're talking about. Lucky here, Ricky boy. You knows we got this. Why are they all sounding like freaking 1930 gangsters? It's your fault. Deej, it's your fault. 100%. I don't like any of this. Stomp? My hands are cold. My desk is right underneath a vent. My hands are cold. I like that much better. I like this one much better. It's the moment he'd been waiting for. He double-checked the address at least 1,000 times before he made the trip. The sun beat down on him from overhead. Buzzards circled him. He raised his chunk and shook it at them. Not today. Looky here, Ricky boy, you've been on this earth a long time. Any day now you be kicking the stump, and that's the day we feast real good. I like this a lot better. That is it. Okay, more than enough time. Do buzzards have sharp beaks? I don't know. What does a buzzard look like? Why not check that out? Stop. Vultures. Woohoo. That's a hawk. Oh, I did put vultures. There you go. You, Jeremy. Okay. I need another name. Give me another name. Yeah. Give me a female name. Randella? Really? Don't make me go to babynames.com. I will do it. I will go to thinkbabynames.com. That is my trump card for all names. What does that mean? Looks like you tried to spell Jumanji and spelled it wrong. Jima? GM. I added it to the character list. Whoa. By the way, I'm coming up with all of this stuff off the cuff. Besides the names that you're giving me and the basic plot line, I'm just coming up with this shit as I go. What do I have? This was a moment he'd been waiting for. He double-checked the address at least 1,000 times before he made the trip. The sun beat down on him from overhead. Buzzards circled him. He raised his trunk and shook it at them. Not today, Looky here, Ricky boy. You've been on this earth a long time, and any day now you be kicking the stump. And that's the day we feast real good, the lead buzzard gurgled. He landed on Ricky's back and picked at his feathers. Ricky huffed as he rounded a hill. Okay, this is no longer possible. Wait, maybe. Let's see. Back. Pack. And picked at his feathers. Ricky huffed as he rounded a hill. I still got a few miles left in me. I'm gonna see her today. He pulled his wallet out of a large coat pocket and held up a picture of his daughter. You know what this is kind of reminding me of, though? What was that child show? It was a kid's show with elephants. They wear coats and stuff. Elephant in coat. It was a TV show. That's not what I was looking for. Oh, that's interesting. That's definitely not what I was looking for. Gosh, what was it called? TV. That's gonna kill me. Show about. Oh, it's a cartoon show. Show about elephants. That's it. Babar. You don't remember this? Oh man, that's some childhood nonsense right there. There is an entire book series of them. They got on crazy hijinks. This is kind of what I'm picturing as I continue to write this story. It was that, yeah. Babar. They had an animated series. It was weird. Anyways, that's what I'm picturing when I'm writing this. Ricky roughed as he rounded a corner. I still got a few miles left of me. I'm gonna see her today. He pulled his wallet out of a large coat pocket and held up a picture of his daughter. He hadn't seen her since the Ivory War. That got dark real quick, didn't it? Disease. Can't spell it? Go with something different. Sickness. That's not one word. I don't know. It's not. Here's why I feared to come to sickness. I'm working on it. We're getting there. You gotta have some tragedy in there, right? I told you, my forte is not happy stuff. I mean, the buzzard was just talking about eating him when he died. Honestly, I'm doing my best. I'm trying. The last letter he had received from his family was a death note for his wife who had succumbed to sickness. His daughter disappeared into the Child Protective Services after the war. And we're going with a whole bunch of cliches here, so bear with me. After the war had ended, he searched continent or country. Every registry and phone book he could get his trunk on, looking for the name Genma. Genma. Mama might not be dead. She is jumping to conclusions. We're only 198 words into this thing. Haha. This was your idea. It's supposed to be about elephants drinking tea. Where did we go wrong? Where did I go wrong? I was raised nice, you know. I didn't have any problems growing up. I wasn't really picked on. I was ignored a lot, but I wasn't really picked on. At least not to my face. So much work. So much work. Let me put this away. That just makes me sad. I don't know where else to do. Case of mistaken identity. We're getting there. We're lighting it up. We're working on this. It's not a page. It's not even full page yet. Okay, where were we? The last letter he had received from his family was a death note for his wife, who had succumbed to sickness. His daughter disappeared into Child Protective Services. After the war ended, he searched the entire country, every registry and phone book he could get his trunk on, looking for the name Genma. The buzzard laughed. You really think she survived the war? Once those bombs started dropping, ain't nothing survived. I should know. Dropped a few myself. Oddly enough, I kind of like the relationship between Ricky and the buzzard. Mm. Yeah. I like that. Frenemies. Ah, he needs a name. What's the name of our buzzard? What's the name of our buzzard? BRB food. What's the name of our buzzard? Let's call him. Let's call him Johnson. I feel like that's not the one I'm thinking of, though. That's not the one I'm thinking of. That's not the one I'm thinking of. That makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to anybody else. Right? Like, that means tease, scorn. It's the same thing. Wound. That works a little better. this is embarrassing. She's seeing this? Buzzer left, do you think? Ricky from lying again, Johnson. I'm going to descend it to the lower valley. Trees dotted a flat line as he followed the small river to a distant town. So how do you spell that? It's not, actually. Yeah, dotted. Spelled wrong. Flatland, one word. As you follow the small river to a distant town. What do you call a flock of vultures? Is there a specific word? Or not vultures, buzzards. Really? Murder? That's a crow. That's crows. No. A group of vultures is called a wake, committee, kettle, venue, or vault. The term kettle refers to vultures in flight, while committee refers to vultures resting in the trees. Wake is reserved for a group of vultures that are feeding. What? I mean, buzzards are vultures. Well, that's funny. Yeah. I don't know how to work that actually into it for a general audience. That would make sense. Because when normally you think of committee, you think of a bunch of people sitting behind a large desk. So I don't think I'll be able to work that in. I could see that if I was doing an educational piece on buzzards and vultures, but I'm not really doing that. And I don't know how often it would pop, like his group would pop up in the story as of yet. By the way, we are only at a single page. Oh man. The trees dotted the flatlands as he followed the small river to the distant town. Jonathan's group shuttled into the trees. Okay. Still doesn't make sense. I can't justify using it. If you can give me a good justification onto why I should use those particular names, I will put it in here. E is on the other side of the L. Yeah, that looks right in front of me. Proper terminology. While Jonathan shifted onto Ricky's large brim hat. What does the town look like? Town look like? It's all wooden. Stone. Should we go for a modern setting? Cobblestone roads or dirt roads? A mixture? Hope if I spelled that right. have. I don't know if you remember this, DJ. Um, we were driving back from Portugal, and along one of the back roads that we were taking, we come across this town that is kind of set into the hillside. It looks like something out of Lord of the Rings, the Lord of the Rings movie. Yeah, the White Town. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The White Town. It kind of looks like this one here. I feel like we've seen this town in particular. Yeah, with the elderly couple. It was really weird seeing the elderly couple. Their car had broken down, and we were just like, why not help them out? And we took them. We said we'd go back, but we never did. It feels like we've seen this town, though. Like we've actually been to that town. Wall City. I think what I'll do is I'll do a mixture. Yeah, like this here. Do something like this. I really like that look. I really like that look. I like this. I wanna keep some color in there. I mean, visually I see the color. I don't know how you guys would see it. Well, when you grow up together. Villagers set into the hills with colorful buildings of varying height. They're not really people, are they? Animals. See, like, the hard part about doing this, where people get to watch you write live, is that there's so often a time where I'm just quiet because I'm just working on the page. So it doesn't leave much of an interaction element, which is something that I really want to have during these live streams. So I don't know if I do this quite as frequently. Because right now, I'm thinking of entertaining you guys while at the same time do writing. And it's causing this weird, split brain feeling where I wonder if I've been too quiet, if I've been quiet too long, and how to create the engagement so that I don't bore you guys. I think what I can do next time is actually do something like a Mad Lib, where I write something but I leave like a whole bunch of blanks and then everybody can just put in their own words, their own character names or whatnot. We just have fun with that. I feel like I do that to my roommates way too much though. I use them as sounding boards all the time. It's begun or began? What's the difference between the two? I don't know. I mean, I know, but I don't know. Yeah, has something to do with the verb, which is what I'm the hardest at. Past tense is began. It's past participle. Real talk, real quick. Real talk. I do this a lot where I'm not sure where if I'm not sure on a word, I go and look it up. If I'm not sure on a writing rule, I go and look it up. I do this a lot. I do it a lot because I didn't have an actual solid background in grammar. I was not really taught it. I was taught the basics, which is like a comma goes here. You put ed if it's a past tense. You put s if it's a present tense or it's an action. Actions or verbs. So I wasn't really given a good solid background in grammar, and that's one of the things that always makes me nervous when I start sharing out writing, because I always think that people, and I know this isn't true, but I always think that other people have better understanding of grammar than I do. And that's not actually true. There are a lot of people that do struggle with it. So I've been thinking of taking a few college courses, going back and doing like going to like a community college and getting a few courses in just English itself and learning the things that I'm lacking, right? Now, that's been my solution for just about everything. I got a master's degree because I thought I didn't know how to tell a story, but when I started going through the master's degree, it wasn't really any different than what I was doing anyways. So it just kind of reinforced everything I had already known at that point, which is like narrative structure, character development, how to do world building, and that games are hard to write as much as stories themselves. So, this is way the hell over here. This is what I need to do. So, real talk. Real talk. I've been struggling with this a lot, and the more that I move forward with my career at the marketing firm that I work with, I do a lot of writing for them, and the more I move forward with that, the more I start to become unsure about my grammar. And I know we have an editor, and she's always like, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it, but it that feels like sort of a cop out. Like, I could do better. I can be better. I think part of the problem was we'd switch schools systems and each one had different standards on when to teach grammar and things like that. Actually, that's not entirely true. Um, Regardless of the school system we were in, or regardless of the school system that I was in, the the English was the same. They taught English the same no matter what. Um, I agree with the fact that because I was spending a lot of time in special ed courses, they only thought to teach me what they believed would best serve me as I was getting out. If you hear stories from my mom, she would tell you that there were a bunch of, we sat one day with all the teachers on one side and me and my parents on the other side, and the teachers told her that I would never go to college. Well, lo and behold, I now have a master's degree. So, I don't even know why I would go back to school. I spent enough money. I wouldn't be taking classes if I couldn't afford them. So when I get caught up in this whole grammar thing, right, like I am right now, I do have to step away. I have to take that moment and kind of recenter myself and remind that it is not a big deal if I don't know all of the rules that exist, because English is hard. And that there are programs that I can use to help me be a bit better in it. But I still feel like it's a cop out. And I don't know if that's ever a feeling that I'll get rid of. So that was real talk. That was real talk. I don't even know what the hell that is. What is that? Now we're learning. I don't know what that is. What is that? What is? Use informing the tenses, moods, and voice of other verbs. Surprisingly, they gave me less of what I needed to know. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, it's still going, I think. Yeah, it's still going. You don't let your disability stand in the way for doing what you love. I agree. I don't. I really do love telling stories. That doesn't stop the fact that sometimes I feel inadequate when I am doing it. So you survived, Ricky said matter-of-factly, and begun to descend the hill into the lower valley. Trees dotted. Another thing I have a problem with, redundancies. How many times do I have to tell you we're in a valley? I don't know. Not that often. It doesn't need to be back to back. Well, that's nice imagery. I don't think it's needed either. You follow the small river to the distant town. Johnson's group settled into the trees. He watched him with hungry eyes, while Johnson shifted onto Ricky's large brim hat. To the trees. He entered the valley, he went. He followed the small river into the distant, to the distant town. Johnson's group settled into the trees that dotted the riverside. That sounds a bit better. And watched him with hungry eyes, while Johnson shifted onto Ricky's large brim hat. The village was set into the hills, with colorful buildings of varying height and squished together. The thin cobblestone road zigzagged between the structures. It seemed impossible for carts to move through, much less animals. You know what I should do next time? Besides the Mad Lib? Is like go through one of my other stories and read like a chapter and go through how I did that chapter. Because this is good for you to just see how much I struggle with what I'm doing. But if I read a chapter in already existing text, I can give more of my thought process on it. The village was set into the hills with colorful buildings of varying size. It seemed impossible for carts to move through, much less animals. What if I called them panimals? That would sound weird, wouldn't it? Panimals? That doesn't make any sense. Found some old writing of mine too. Found some old writing of mine too. Think it would work if I used people or little talking animals. I'm gonna stick with animals though. And I was reading back through that old work. Whew. Let me tell you, I have not come a long way. I'll have to find where I put it. The village went, Ricky shimmied, right? That's shimmied through an alleyway. Oops. I did go look at some other people who were doing this. Who were doing live writing. One girl that I was watching, she was doing sort of her story Bible. So she was writing out what each chapter would entail, what each character was, the motivation. Another guy was writing his novel. I didn't get to see much on his. It was like a 5-hour stream. I should have watched it a little longer. He was pretty much doing the same thing I was, I think. Popped out onto a bridge. I know this is really lame, but there's your joke. It's really lame. But I'm over here laughing at it, so. Ah, jeez. The river ran through the middle of town. Now here's another part of writing, right? Like for Johnson, he drops the NG. So if I go back and look up here, I look specifically at like how he talks. I just want to make sure that because sometimes when I get too into my writing, I'll just go as if it's a normal thing. But if I've added accents, then I have to go back in there and add it. So I have to find look at specific ways that they're speaking. Like a good example of a character's dialogue would probably be, what's his name? It's from Harry Potter. It's from Harry Potter. Hagrid. Hagrid. Like that's actually a pretty good way of writing a character's dialogue with an accent. I remember some writers that are just like, F that. Yeah, Hagrid. F that. I'm not going to deal with that whole mess of accents. And I try to keep mine very simple. I don't try to get crazy too much. Call back. After an hour squeezing through the streets, in one instance of knocking over a cabbage cart, Ricky found the street. McToddler sat at the end. McToddler Inn. Sat at the end of the street. The narrow, leaning blue building. Oops. What's that? What's that? Passion fruit. My weapons bug. What's this? Look at this. Look at that. The spear right there in the middle. This one. Look at that. What's it called? An Ankus? This Ankus, or elephant goad, is of traditional form, with a spike and hook designed for controlling the animal by pressure on the hide. The goad is so splendidly decorated, however, that it was probably intended for display rather than a practical use, being carried in a similar manner to a ceremonial mace. I do. I have tons of books like these. Okay, I don't have tons of books like these. I have several books like these. I have ones that are about guns. I have ones that are about, well, what is this? Weapon, a visual history of arms and armor. What is the odds that I'd open up and find something that was made for elephants? What is the chances? It's meant to be. They have the tabar, which is this one right up here, right up top. The tabar. see. The carved wooden shaft of this battle axe, or the tabar, is covered in green velvet at the grip and tipped with carved ivory at each end. The broad steel blade would have been effective in combat, but the fine decoration suggests that display was its primary function. One in however many pages that book is. What is the odds? I'm doing a story about elephants drinking tea. Or that was at least what the premise was. With a plot of mistaken identity. And somehow I come up with an old war veteran on the search for his missing daughter. With a feisty buzzard friend for his travel companion, who's only following him because he wants to eat him when he dies. Also, of the pages that I opened up to is the Indian staff weapons. Not dark at all. Not dark at all. I need to put this somewhere where I can see it. That's not gonna work. You know what I should invest in? Like a little book stand. Just right there. A book stand. Fuck it. Memorize it. Got it. Good. What was it called? ANKUS. ANKUS. ANKU. Oops. ANKUS. Just put that off. Actually, let me take that and put that off to the side. After an hour of squeezing through the streets and one instance of knocking over a cabbage cart, Ricky found the street. McToddler Inn sat at the end of the street. The narrow, leaning blue building had different fruit vines growing along its walls. The door. Ah, that's what I was thinking. Protruded? Prodded? No, that's not it. Protruded? Is that it? Protruded? Yeah. Wooden sign ripped onto it. After that? Oh, okay. Going dark again. I just need to get rid of her. I just need to get rid of this dude. I don't know. Torta. Yeah, that looks like a good word. Alright. Remember those? Johnson grinned viciously, sticking out of your brethren. I remember breaking your wing with one during the Battle of Torta, Ricky replied without missing a beat. Okay. Probably do this for another 40 minutes. I'm not gonna lie. I will continue this after I end the stream, and then post it on my Wattpad and on my Patreon. But I'm probably gonna change a little bit of this when I actually put it up for real. This is a good outline, though. Mm-mm. Yeah, first draft. Ricky pushed the middle door open and stepped into a surprisingly long room. I was about to say a frog. Give me an animal. Any animal. Mammal, insect, it doesn't matter. Give me an animal of some sort. This is going to be the receptionist. Wow. A platypus? Have you been watching too much Disney? Have you been watching too much Disney? No. You spelled it wrong. Platypus. Okay. So, for this platypus, do you want to make him or her? Do you want it to be a her? Male or female? Male or female? Large? Skinny? What would you like? Male or female? Large or skinny? Duckbill. Non-binary large. I dig it. Problem is, how do you write a non-binary character? Because if you think about it, traditionally you do the male or female, right? Right? So how would you refer to in text a non-binary character? How would you? That's a good question. Let's look. How to write non-binary. Really? Rely on it? The first thing I see here is, so you want to write a non-binary character. This blog is dedicated to answering questions about writing or acting or anything else non-binary character. I speak from my experience alone and do not speak for all non-binary individuals. Before you ask or submit, read before you ask. Okay, so had a heck of a time capturing this, and maybe someone already posted a better version, but this is a super interesting bit of dialogue in gender. Yes, the binary character. Yes, the gender binary of our race is irrelevant to us. I've been using feminine pronouns this entire time. Should I? In my case, it's fine to continue. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Yeah, but what are gender neutral terms? You just had to go and do something difficult, didn't you? I mean, I'm totally all for writing it, but I've not had to come across that. I've thought about it before, though. I had a character that was non-binary, but I chose not to write them. Writing characters of different gender. What's that? Maybe there's something. Sci-fi, what we need more than strong females. What we need more than strong females. I'll probably bookmark this. I don't know, because when I go to write this, right? we're doing it from Ricky's perspective, right? So we'll do it this way. We're looking at Ricky's perspective, and from Ricky's perspective, probably, I don't know. Probably refer to it as a him. Conundrums. Give me a name for this non-binary character. I don't know what platypus sound like. I have no idea what that word is called. What you just typed at me. What is this even? Sashi Kiran? So if you're trying to link me something, because I saw right here it says deleted link. If you're trying to link me anything, I have it so that you can't put links in there. There's a reason why. I don't want people linking something that potentially takes others to a virus site or a porn site or something like that. I don't even remember what I was doing. Oh. That's not how you spell that. Platypus. Platypus. I keep thinking that people are coming in or is like, why is she writing about animals? Oh, person, if only you knew. This isn't just a story about animals. This isn't your normal story about animals. In this case, because I'm it's not that I don't feel. No, I'm gonna be completely honest. In this case, I'm not going to do a non-binary character, and the reason why is because I want to research that a little bit more, understand how to write that particular character, and then come back to it. So for the time being, in this instance, I'm going to leave he or she or whatever I choose to give this character, and then when I go eventually put this out, I'll probably go back and revisit that and see if it is something that I can add, or if having a non-binary character would actually be better for a different story. And there's quite a few stories that I am writing outside of this that I think a non-binary character would work for much better. In this instance, I definitely don't want to do it wrong, right, and upset people. So I'm going to pull back on that, learn a little bit more about that. I've got a site now that I can look at. I got a site that I can come and look at and sort of understand that a bit better. So let me just open up a new window. But no, I like your idea. I have been wanting to spread out more. That's a terrible way of saying it. I want to start doing more LGBT content in the near future. I'm already working on that. R9 has LGBT. For those of you that don't know, R9 is the current sci-fi title that I'm releasing on my Patreon, on Pocket Change Stories, and I'm starting to do some things with LGBT there. Normally, I just stay away from the whole romance section. I don't get too into it. Characters' sexualities almost never play a huge part in my stories. Almost never. But recently, over the last couple of years, I've been wanting to really explore character sexuality and how that plays into character development. And that's what I'm doing mostly with R9. It's a lot of experimentation. I'm learning how to write characters of color. I'm learning how to take into account LGBT content. I'm thinking real hard. I'm trying to create content that's representative of as many people as possible, because I grew up wanting to have characters that were like me. I wanted to see girls that weren't into guys, that was all about kicking down doors and shooting guns. Are you saying ZE? Just ZE on their registration forms? I don't even know what that is. I just learned what cis was. I think it's a weird term, cis. Okay. Again, I want to learn and understand that more so that I can better represent it in my works. I don't want to just put something in there just because, I haven't done it, or just to be different as an alternative to he or she. But now you got me thinking too much about doing non-binary characters, and my brain has completely gone away from the current story. What a conundrum. I'm gonna put that somewhere. Where should I put it? Do I even have... I'll make a note of it. I've thought about it for a long time, about doing it, so... Okay, back to where we're at. So we just got to McToddler Inn. He's looking for his daughter. Thinks he's finally found her. So Ricky pushed the metal door open, stepped into a surprisingly long room. Hello, the receptionist behind the desk chirped. A large platypus waddled out of the back room. She wore a sundress. Mostly because I had too many male characters in here. I need to put a female in here somewhere. She wore a sundress. Why does this bring an image to, like, why does that remind me of something? Platypus in a sundress. Why does it remind me of something? I feel like I've seen that image before. It gives me a sundress. I know what a sundress looks like now. Platypus in a dress. Come on, DeviantArt, don't fail me. It's Google. there's a Perry the Platypus dress. I'm just used to seeing that character. Like, that's stereotypical. I want to give her sort of like a Mrs. Potts sound. Hello, dearie. Welcome to the inn. The receptionist behind the desk chirped. A large platypus waddled out of the back room, dressed in a sundress. Oh yeah, you said behind the name. I'm curious. Behind the name.com. What did you give me? Masculine and feminine. Okay. Traditional name for the moon. It literally means having a hair. Huh. Oh, I can see why you were going with non-binary. Oh, that makes sense. Alright. Well, we'll come back to that. We'll revisit that conversation when I have more knowledge on it. Her name tag read, it's a she. Ah, well then you didn't choose it, did you? Put a little more thought into this. I already got someone named, and the guy's not even here anymore. Baby McToddler. Ricky pushed the metal door open and stepped into a surprisingly long room. Hello, the receptionist behind the desk chirped. A large platypus waddled out of the back room dressed in a sundress. Her name tag read, Sashi in gold print. How can I help you today? Let's have Johnson be a little asshole. Oh, thank you. I don't know if I like the way this conversation's going. Johnson hopped onto the desk. There's a girl elephant around here, fatter than you, as tall as him. He pointed over his shoulder at Ricky, whose mouth hung open in shock. I beg your pardon? Sashi gasped. Before Johnson could say more, Ricky wrapped his trunk around his neck and hauled him into the air. I do apologize. You know how vultures are. He smiled and tossed. Johnson toward a couch. My name is Rick Caden. He took his hat off and bowed. I'm looking for my daughter, Jenma. Jenma? Sashi looked between him and Johnson, who sat on the arm of the only couch that could fit in the room. Is she a guest? I'm not sure. I got this address from a friend who said he met her here. He placed a crumpled napkin on the desk. I thought she might work here. Sashi paged through the guest book. And you say she's your daughter? She looked at him suspiciously. We were separated during the war, he explained. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like a lot of this podcast is going to be me sitting in silence when I upload this to YouTube. That being said, I have run out of time. I put this, I've been nervous all day. I haven't really done anything. So, I'm going to end this broadcast here. You know what I haven't done? And they say this all the time, and that it should be done. Save as. Dropbox. Pocket change. Let's create a new folder. So I'm going to end this here. I'm going to think about that a little bit more. I do have 2 pages. We got through 2 pages. I didn't promise we'd finish this. I did promise we'd start one. I'm going to finish it. Let me rephrase. We started a story. It gives me a good place to work from. I will continue to finish it and post it on my Patreon, and then I'll link it on all of my social media. So, thank you guys so much Thank you so much for watching. I know that I sat there for a long time trying to figure things out. I hope you enjoy it, or you got to see a little sneak peek into what I do kind of on the daily whenever I'm writing for any of my stories. It's a lot of researching, a lot of random silence. And I do use a lot of people in my vicinity as soundboards. I don't know if Twitch is the perfect way of doing that. But hey, we'll see. This is a growing channel. This is a growing community. I want to do... there's going to be a lot of trial and error. I do know I did enjoy this a lot. I really did enjoy writing in front of you guys. It was terrifying. I spent like most of the day shaking and worried. But we made it. We got to this point. I'll have a better plan next time. I think if I do another live writing soon, I probably would write one of the chapters for a series that I'm currently working on instead of starting on something completely fresh. That way I already have something to work off of, and there isn't as much dead time as there was during this broadcast. So, for those of you that stuck around, thank you so much for sticking around. If you haven't already, check out my Patreon. I have a couple stories on there. If you join, you can get access to any of my exclusive content. Right now I have a steampunk cyberpunk mashup called Electric Steam. It's only available on Patreon. In other words, everything else is, you're welcome. No, thank you for joining me. Seriously, I cannot be a better writer without you. I say this all the time. I cannot be a better writer without people coming and seeing and commenting. It's really nerve-wracking. This is really nerve-wracking. I'm hoping I'm going to get better as I move along. Excuse me. But for now, that's the end of the stream. Check out my Patreon. Check out my blog where I do post most of my free writing. And keep an eye out on my social media feeds for the completion of this story. Right now it's called The Elephant's Tea, but we'll get a better name. Go to this. So again, thank you so much. Follow me on any of my social media. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on them all. If you're interested in checking out any of my other stories, head on over to my Patreon. Links are all in the descriptions down below. And I'll see you guys in another week.